What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So currently working off a traveling trading slash streaming video making station. So quality is not going to be that great over the next weekend, and the sound quality might be a little echoey. So I do apologize about that. But on the good news, today I made $6,000 trading, $6,100 to be exact. But anyways, let's cover those trades. So I traded, actually all the stocks I traded today, I was green on. So the two red stocks that you see down here, LXRX and SAVA, those were actually trades from yesterday. I thought I had closed out my entire position on LXRX yesterday, but apparently I might have had pending orders out there or something, because when I woke up this morning and logged in, I had like 400 shares on this stock. So that was accidental. Didn't mean for that to happen. And then Sava was really weird. I had 33 shares of Sava yesterday that I wanted to close out, and I was like trying to sell them with a market order, trying to sell them with a limit order. Pretty much anything I did, the market was not taking my 33 shares. I don't know if there was a setting that somehow like tripped up on my software or what happened, but for whatever reason yesterday, I was unable to sell 33 shares. So I'm like, whatever, it's 33 shares. It's not going to kill me. Whatever, I'll just leave it. So I figured, screw it. So I left 33 shares on from yesterday because for some reason they wouldn't close them. And then, so today I was able to take them off and I lost $2.64. So realistically, from the active trading that I purposely did today, I was green on everything. So that's a bonus. Feels good after that $13,000 loss. So traded AMTX, OBSV, POLA, and CHRA, and we will cover all those trades right now. So let me link these up really quickly. So CHRA today was a short. So by the time I got going today and got up and got my traveling station all set up, CHRA was trading right here, and I ended up going short like 12,000 shares here. So added short 12,000 shares. It pretty much chopped around all morning, really confusingly. And it was just a pain. They were keeping the spread about 7 cents from the bid to the ask. So the market makers weren't allowing for really easy means of exiting your trade without a little bit of slippage pre-market. So anyways, I went short 12,000, and it was just chopping around, and it was just really boring and slow and annoying. And I knew that they were just going to do this slow, grindy chop on it. So when I went short here, pre-market around 578, and eventually kind of got this drop down to here, I ended up covering pretty much the entire trade because I knew it was just going to go kind of slow and grindy. So I'm like, you know what? It's a big position. You've already made $1,000. You know, let's just take most of it off. So I ended up taking most of it off. I left 1,000 shares on, and then I ended up like fading 1,000 shares closer to the open and covering. And typically I would have stayed short on something like this. But for whatever reason, I decided to close the short, not try to actively short this anymore throughout the day. And then I actually gravitated towards OBSV for a long, which I don't normally do. I was actually surprised with myself because generally I would kind of stick with CHRA on the short side. But then I'm like, I think OBSV is going to be a long. So then I just kind of switched gears and went over to OBSV. So ended up making $1,000, ideally shorting CHRA almost into the open. And, you know, what were the reasons for shorting CHRA? At the time, pre-market, this was an overbought location. If you look at the chart on the right, this is the daily chart. The daily chart will show that the price was very extended out of trend. So again, if you just look at this channel that I have on the right screen, ideally the concept is the price is supposed to stay in between the blue lines. All right. And so whenever we're trading outside of them, it's kind of like, hey, whoa, what are you doing? So I figured it made sense to be a little more bearish on the stock CHRA today. Now we'll go over to AMTX. So AMTX was a trade pre-market. It was a little trade. Could have ended up re-shorting here, but I wasn't paying attention. But ended up doing a little trade here pre-market on AMTX. Essentially, by the time I seen it, caught wind of it, we had already pulled back from the top, which is really where I wanted to get short. or where I would have really liked to be short, and I'll explain why in a second. So by the time I caught wind of AMTX, it was like right here in these candles, these couple of red candles. So anyways, I went short 5,000 shares and got a little slippage. It really wasn't the best trade, but I went short 5,000 shares. It snapped down and I decided to take it off and made 320 bucks. And I think it costed me like 120 bucks to get those shares. So I really only made 200 bucks on that trade because the cost, I didn't get the perfect entry like I would have liked. So it wasn't an A1 trade. It wasn't an A1 setup. And whenever you take a trade that's not an A1 setup and you get some slippage and things of that nature, it's generally best to take the trade off a little quicker, take whatever the market provides you, and not really try to get too much more because, again, it's not an A1 setup, right? And anyways, so yeah. So why did we want to be short, or why did I want to be short here at 440, and then why I would have reshorted if I was paying attention when it went back up to that 440 to 450. If you look at the screen on the right, you're going to see that, our long-term resistance mark is right there. So if I delete this drawing, you'll see that our long-term resistance mark was like right at 444, 443, right? So let's do this. Put a little horizontal line there. Boom. And you're going to see that's exactly where we were stopping pre-market. And then again, if you look at the intraday chart, we were over the blue line. So intraday overbought, long-term chart on resistance. Typically going to bet bearish on that. So was able to net 321 on that. So that was cool. That was good. We'll go over to POLA and then we'll save the best for last. So POLA was a short trade. I would have loved to be able to trade, this market throughout the day. But again, I'm on vacation and I'm just going to be doing the morning sessions. I'm not going to be doing anything afternoon. So it was really nice to wake up today in Florida on vacation. Set up my computers in the morning, nail a couple trades, and then be done for the day. So it's really nice feeling being able to be on vacation, do your job efficiently, and then leave the market and retain some money. That's generally the goal of every day. So anyways, POLA, I think I did 2 trades here. So for one, I just shorted this pullback with like 300 shares. I think I made like $100 or something like that, and then I reshorted this top with just a couple hundred shares and then covered it and made 249 bucks. So I think I spent 80 bucks for shares to short on this. Typically I would go bigger size, but since I'm on vacation and I had a rough day yesterday, I'm like, you know what, let's just keep things small. Let's keep it kosher. Any bit of money is good money. Let's try to have a less emotional attachment to trading today. And the best way to do that is trading a smaller share size. So I'm like, you know what? There's no reason to be all crazy today. Let's just 1,000 shares. If you trade properly with 1,000 shares, you're still going to make money. So that's what I did. So I didn't have to be too crazy on this. But on OBSV, I did go a little crazy. But OBSV, I really felt it was necessary for me to take the additional risk here. So on OBSV today, by the time I kind of caught wind of it on its movement, it was about right here. So I started longing from here up to this point at 376 and built a position of 19,000 shares. And then I held the 19,000 shares all the way up to here. I held through the pullback here, held to the bounce here, and then I closed out here. So I had thought that OBSV had the potential to go to about $4.80 to $5. And I was willing to hold the 19,000 shares the entire way to the $5 mark if the momentum took us there. So the reason I cut my trade the way I cut my trade and the reason I didn't sell at the 430s was because I thought we had the potential to go to 5. We may have needed a pullback before we did that. So I had a big position, OBSV, made $4,800. I was actually up about $11,000 to almost $12,000 on the day when we were trading all the way at the high here of 430, 426 on OBSV. So I saw a long setup. It looked strong. I felt confident in it. So I took 19,000 shares, held the 19,000 shares all the way to 430, didn't sell any, let it pull back, went to the bounce, didn't sell any. And then once I realized that we weren't going to have the continuation or the momentum continuing on this move, I decided to cut the trade and accept whatever money the market had offered me from that point. So for one, and you can see like I had marked this off as resistance. Now typically, I will say this, typically I would have sold at the top of that move, right? If I wasn't long bias OBSV, I probably would have started shorting that top. So that's always kind of the challenging thing is when you like to short and you like to long, knowing like it's nearly impossible to completely shift bias immediately in the middle of a move when you're already long and then go short, and then when you're short, go long, because then your psychology just gets all out of whack. So it's kind of hard to play both sides of the field like that sometimes. So anyways, if you look, I'll show you again. I had mapped off, this, if you look at the screen on the right, the resistance is 430. So that's exactly why we went up to about 430, 427 here and then stopped. Look at back down, bounce up, stop, back down, bounce up, stop, stop, stop. OBSV is struggling to get through this 440 price. And not the funny part, it took a long time for me to learn all this. And I'm really trying to show it to you guys so that you can just cut your learning process down by like a trillion. But think about back to when you first started trading, or if you are just starting to trade, how many of you guys have been trying to buy this breakout today over this 430 and it just keeps failing? And you're like, why is it not working? Why won't it break? Most of the market has no clue that they're buying right into resistance, okay? So anyways, I went long OBSV today, 19,000 right here. That's a good one. So why did I go long for the breakout here at 375? I think there was a level here that broke. I could be wrong. No, there was, yeah. So if you look at this 4-hour chart, you're gonna see like it's the same exact thing as the daily chart, just a little differently, right? So if you look at this daily chart, look at where the red line's at. It's right here, okay? And then if we go to the 4-hour chart, look where the red line's at. Okay, that red line is all the way down here, right? And so I'll draw another line and then watch it populate on the left screen in a second. Oh, shit. Here we go. Okay, ready? Boom. So you can see we were right on 4-hour long-term resistance. And that's why it had stopped there pre-market. So if we kind of scroll back a bit on OBSV, you'll see pre-market, it ran up to where? This level and then rejected. We came back up and the volume was strong. It just looked like we could break it. And I'm not gonna lie, when you're buying 19,000 shares right at a breakout level, you can help it break out. So the market looks strong on OBSV. We had already tested just had a grouper sandwich, some beer and some wine. So you can see that we had just hit resistance pre-market earlier around this 370, pulled back, went back up, and now we're testing resistance for the second time. This is another learning lesson for you. You are more likely to break support or break resistance the second or the third time it goes to it. So don't be fooled by some other video or something you read on the internet that suggests the more time a stock resists a certain point or the more time it bounces on a certain point, the stronger the support is. It's kind of true and kind of false, and it's all situational based. So that being said, as OBSV is coming back into this 375 resistance, which is really just the 4-hour long-term trending resistance, it looked good. And I'm like, you know what? I think this is going to break with or without me, but I'm going to bang in 19,000 shares and basically try to kickstart the move. So anyways, I was a small portion of it. I mean, if you look at the volume of this stock, the volume was 1.5 million. So to think that my 19,000 shares are really the reason it broke out is just kind of naive. But my 19,000 share purchase definitely helped move the stock a bit. It's not. So I knew we were at resistance. We're trading a lot of volume. I think we're going to break out. Why not hit it hard, try and help the breakout, and then see if we can go full-blown rip, which we kind of did all the way to 430. I had 11,000, almost 12,000. I didn't take it. You know, it is what it is. I mean, this is trading. So anyways, that is today's trading recap for you guys. I hope you like it. There isn't going to be any trading Monday. So with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. Everybody take care. Have a great rest of your day.